So there you go. That was a video. Thank you for watching, everyone. I thought it would be the best way to kind of introduce the next phase of this session, which is with great pleasure to introduce Matthew to everyone.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching that.
So, I mean, first up, I know clearly we got a little bit about your background just then, but I don't know, do you want to just tell us a little bit more about you, what you do for a living, and all of that stuff?
Yeah, so as you saw in the video, my name is Matthew. I live in Kingston upon Thames with my partner Raphael and our little miniature schnauzer Duke. I've got a few different jobs, so to speak. I work in the city in marketing, and I also talk quite a lot about my identity now. And I'm also a wedding celebrant, so I've got a few things under my wings, so to speak.
Very busy indeed. So I think it's safe to say the story didn't end there. So we ended at the end of the video with you just making first contact with Carl, I guess. So do you want to just tell us a little bit about what has happened since in the past couple of years?
Well, as you know, quite a lot, Joe. So I'll try and make this as brief as possible. But so Carl and I met with our partners shortly after that video aired, and we kind of hit it off straight away. It was quite weird meeting someone that you obviously that was related to your brother you didn't know, and you're both in your fifties. I was a bit it was a bit nerve-wracking at the time. But we kind of hit it off straight away, and we both kind of wear our heart on our sleeves, so that helped a little bit. So we got to know each other quite quickly. And then after that, the that was when the kind of story really started because we discovered. So I had a message from a lady on Facebook to say I'm your auntie. And I was like, okay, because I got a few messages from that show. I think it's watched by like 4 million viewers or something. So I got a few cranky emails and messages from people, as well as some really good ones. But I got this message from this strange woman saying I'm your auntie, and she kept writing to me, and I'm like, how can I push her away? Just go away, you crazy woman. Anyway, she eventually said that she'd do agreed to do a DNA test. That took another 4 months, so she went really quiet in that time. So I thought, oh, she's gone. Anyway, I was sat at work one morning on my computer, and the message pops up. I'm definitely your auntie. So I'm like, okay. So I messaged Chewy at the BBC and said, look, can you check the database? And she said, oh, she's definitely your auntie, but her brother is your dad. So not only had this lady seen me and my father, her brother, and she was so sure that I was part of her family. She got her DNA test done. It's just so random, So it wasn't even the DNA first that brought us there. It was her perseverance and her self assurance. So yeah. So but since then, I've discovered that I've got two other brothers and a sister. And I see two of the three, and I speak to two of the three all the time. We've got numerous aunties, loads of cousins, one of who lives 10 minutes up the road from me. And I've just got back from the Seychelles. So I finally made it to the Seychelles. I got back last week and I went for a couple of weeks to reconnect or to connect, not reconnect, connect with the family on the island, which was again another story in itself. That's another tale to tell on another day, Joe, isn't it?
I guess so. So, I mean, there's so much to unpack there, but
Mm.
I mean, I guess just kind of trying to keep it basic. Like, how's it felt to you to just suddenly gain a whole new side of a family that you didn't know that you had? I mean, I mean, in terms of how you see yourself, your identity, how has that really had an impact on you?
Well, it's funny because I talk on the program about having a cup half full or half empty or something like that, and I kind of knew what I was talking about, but I didn't really understand what that was. I knew it was there, but I didn't understand it. But as soon as I connected with my family, my new family, that gap it disappeared. So what that did, it immediately made me feel like really whole. Um, it's it's as simple as that, really. So my confidence went through the roof. I felt I don't know. I got so much from it. So much. So more confidence. I'm more self-assured. Happier. My anxiety levels. I didn't realize how much anxiety I was carrying all of my life, and that anxiety just a lot of it dispersed. Just So I was left with this new kind of person to kind of look at and explore. It's bizarre, but amazing, amazing journey.
So I know, I mean, there's a huge tale to tell, I guess, but just in terms, I mean, just in summary, maybe going to the Seychelles, which is why this meeting is actually a week later than we were hoping, because like literally hot off the press, you just come
Yeah.
back. So
Mm.
I know that there's a huge amount to share, but I mean, maybe can you just reflect a little bit about how that was? I mean, kind of setting foot there,
Yeah.
how it first felt, and did it meet your expectations?
So the Seychelles, it's tight. It's a tiny island in the Indian Ocean. I was a bit. I put myself under a bit of pressure because a few people said to me, "Oh, when you go there, you're going to get an instant connection with your DNA," and I had all this kind of these preconceptions that people had kind of given me. So I felt a bit under pressure a little bit to feel a certain way. And when I got there, I got off the plane. I was quite nervous about this feeling I was meant to be getting straight away, and I just noticed how beautiful this little island was. But I didn't really feel anything, which was a bit weird because I was expecting to feel something straight away. And it wasn't until after a few days that I realised that these things take a bit of time. So yeah, I found a massive connection through my family, through the food, through the climate. It's weird because normally I hate hot weather, but over there it's really hot. But it just felt really natural. It's can't explain that. Can't explain it. But absolutely love the place, love the island, love the people. There's lots of opportunities over there as well. So I'll be going back. I'll be going back. One thing I do like about the island is that it's one of the only, or the only, I should know this, but islands in Africa or places in Africa that have LGBT rights enshrined in law. It's still quite homophobic, um, but even though I didn't see any of that, but I've been told that it's still quite, it can be still quite homophobic. But those laws are now in place, so that's really wonderful to hear.
Hmm. And so I guess kind of somewhat on that point, how important has it been to kind of have Raf by your side and kind of helping to guide you through the entire process?
Yeah, he's actually gone to work now. He works at Kingston Uni, so he would have said
Hmm.
hello, but he
Okay.
says hello like from. Yeah, it's been amazing because he's been there from the moment I decided to apply for the BBC program on Facebook that day when it was all under lockdown and this advert popped up. Do you want to test your DNA? And I'm like, okay, I might as well give it a go. And he's been there from that moment, so he's seen that change in me from that the moment they started calling and watching the story unfold. He's been there as an observer, as a major support, as a major love. He's been my strength. So yeah, I couldn't have done it without him. The power of love.
Beautiful. Okay, so don't want to put you on the spot, but are there kind of
That's all right,
any?
Joe. I
No,
can do
no,
it.
that's fine.
Go on,
Are
give
there
it to
any
me.
big takeaways? I mean, I guess kind of big like learning points. If there are like three things maybe that you could say, yeah, these are the things that I'm really taking from the experience.
How important it is to know yourself or to know where you're from. I wouldn't have known that because, as you know, I've had to craft my own identity growing up because I've not had that. So it's important to, if you can, to know where you're from. I think,
Mm.
um, I think it's important to take a look at where you're from as well, because a lot of people don't go through life and don't really connect with, or don't want to connect. I think it's really important to do that. I don't know. It's quite a hard question, that Joe. You did
Sorry.
throw that at me, didn't you? There's so many, I think.
Maybe just two
Um,
then. That's fine.
I suppose if you're talking about someone on a similar journey, is to just take your time on that journey. Take your time, give yourself that space, and just to be authentic about it. Be authentic. I wish I thought about that a bit more, Joe. But yeah, there you
I
go.
like it.
It sounds good. It sounded good, I think.
Sounded perfect. So I guess, I mean, just like maybe the last bit of our little fireside chat. I mean, as much as you want to share, but what do you see as like the next steps to this story? It's been such an incredible story so far, and we've seen a couple of chapters of it. But writing your next chapter, what do you think it's going to look like for you?
Well, it's opened up lots of things, isn't it? So I, at the time the program went out, I was a foster carer. I'm now a trustee at the largest fostering charity in the UK, the Fostering Network. That's opened a lot of doors for me in the fostering world. So I'm looking to speak more about my identity, my journey, my story, I suppose. So the next project is we've just finished. So when I went to the Seychelles, we filmed the story of me going and being there and connecting with family, with the culture. So we've made a film about that. So the next step is getting that all edited and put together, and to see where that leads, I suppose.
Can't wait. Really exciting
Yeah,
stuff.
it's the gift that keeps on giving, Joe.
Well, it certainly is, and I'm sure when you applied back in lockdown to the Facebook shout out, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess you couldn't, in your wildest dreams of hope, that it would have ended up here.
No, no. Obviously, for those, I suppose I haven't said this, but my father, he'd actually died before I met him, which was unfortunate. He died about 5 years ago, I think. But what I would like to say is that I did have a really good mum and dad in foster care. They were my mum and dad, so I didn't feel like a great loss for that. But I do feel a tremendous sense of gratitude to have finally uncovered the answers.